So last week on this show, as you might or might not remember, I said Dallas would win that game. I said 28-27, Dallas Cowboys without Micah against Micah. And I'm sure you chuckled, and I'm sure you said delusional Cowboy fan, and I'm sure you said utterly, completely lost my mind. And you were wrong. I was right. Micah didn't scare me last Sunday night because Micah always, after his rookie year in Dallas, disappointed me. He didn't scare me. He disappointed me. I'll say it again. The last time he wrecked a game was his rookie year. I've said again and again, overhyped and overrated. I've said it again and again that not one but two veteran Dallas Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence, Malik Hooker, called out Micah publicly for prioritizing his podcast over winning football games. And here we went again on Sunday night. I don't know how many people predicted to me in my life that Micah would have at least 2 sacks Sunday night to wreak revenge on Jerry Jones. And here's a quick stat for you that I should have pulled up last week, but I didn't. I was overwhelmed with too much anti-Micah. But here's classic vintage, sums it up, anti-Micah. So he's going to have 2 or 3 sacks against the Dallas Cowboys. His career high for a single game was 2.5, achieved 3 times in his career. 2.5, achieved 3 times in his career. Now think about this with me. The first one came in his rookie year. You longtime diehard Cowboy fans will remember this game. At Jerry World, when I least expected it, the Dallas Cowboys at home were down 30-0 after 3 quarters to the Denver Broncos quarterback by Teddy Bridgewater. What? 30-0? It wound up 30-16 with 2 Dak garbage time scores with 2 two-point conversions. 30-16 was the final. But we were heavily favored to win the game. We're down 30-0 after 3 quarters. And in that game, Micah did have 2.5 sacks against Teddy Bridgewater in a game we were down 30-0 after 3 quarters. That's Micah Parsons vintage. Then we have to skip a year. He didn't have any 2.5 sack game his second year as a Cowboy. And his second 2.5 sack game came his third year in Carolina against a rookie quarterback named Bryce Young. A rookie quarterback, miniature rookie quarterback named Bryce Young. 2.5 sacks in that game. Dallas won that game 30-10. Then his final 2.5 sack game for the Dallas Cowboys came in his final game for the Dallas Cowboys. It was the last game last year against arch rival Washington at Jerry World. But Washington was playing nobody. Washington was secured for the playoffs. Done deal, over and out. Jaden Daniels played a few snaps early, but it was mostly Marcus Mariota and backups. And Micah had 2.5 front running versus second team sacks in that game. So he's had only 3 games in his career as Micah Parsons in which he went over 2 sacks, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And all 3 of them, I can put a big old asterisk beside them. Big old asterisk. All 3 of them. They weren't in some monumental game that he wrecked against Philadelphia for the division title or Washington when it really mattered. Or some big game, I don't know, against Baltimore, Detroit, Kansas City. Any big game did he wreck? Nope. So the odds of Micah on Sunday night getting 2 to 3 sacks were slim to none to me. And he was given, and I underline the word given, as in handed 1 sack for the game. 1 sack for the game that was not a sack. I'm sorry, if you ankle tackle a quarterback who's running straight ahead at the line of scrimmage, and that quarterback falls forward and should have been given a 1-yard gain on the play, but was given only line of scrimmage, that's not a sack to me. So Micah had one cheap, fraudulent, shouldn't have counted sack on Sunday night on a play on which I give him hustle, but it's desperate kind of hustle. On a play in which they left Jake Ferguson, the tight end, to single block Micah on the weak side, on the strong side where the tight end was. And Micah looped around him, and to his credit, he did not quit on the play because he knows chase down ambush sacks are his quickest way, easiest way to get a sack. And he got one on Jared Goff. Remember the Detroit game in the opener? He got a chase down LeBron James Memorial block sack, an ambush sack, a blindside sack on opening night, and then was given one on Sunday night. And obviously, in these first 4 games, Micah has been on his best behavior. He knows I've questioned him. He knows he's questionable. He knows he is faded down the stretch of every season because he wears down, wears out. He's not a physical football player. He looks the part, 6'3-ish, 250-ish, and he can flat fly. I give you that. I've always given you that. He's got quickness, and he has burst, and he has speed. He has real speed. He has 4.4-ish kind of 40-yard speed. So what? Is he a physical, will-imposing football player? A real badass on the... Nope, he's not. He's not that guy. I don't see any killer in Micah Parsons, as in football killer, as in natural born, as in can't block him when it matters most. I don't see that. I see the flash and dash plays, and the public is head over heels in love with the flash and dash plays that don't translate into sacks or winning. FanDuel is getting you into the NFL season with an offer you just won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet $5. If it wins, you will unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, you can bet player props, you can ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Look, the NFL season is obviously in full swing. You need to get in full swing. Only question is, are you ready to play? I mean, play. You need to visit FanDuel.com/skip, S-K-I-P, my first name, FanDuel.com/skip to download the FanDuel app today and to get started. So please think about this. And I don't hate Micah Parsons. He seems like a nice enough guy. I just think his priorities are, he doesn't care that much about football. He sort of woke up as a kid and said, man, I'm big and fast. I can do this. But is there Charles Haley operating here? Is there Reggie White? Is there LT? Is there Ray Lewis? Is there Derek Brooks? These are cold-blooded football killers, leaders, dominators, will imposers. Those guys I just named, Lawrence Taylor, the Giants, every time I name one of those guys, they played for a defense that was just hellaciously, suffocatingly, domineeringly dominant, that just took the league by storm and tore it apart and shut it down. Think about all of them. Derek Brooks in 2002, Tampa. My guy, Derek. Know him, love him. Just just the will of a lion. And my God, when I think about my guy Charles Haley, we had our battles, but I fought for him to be in the Hall of Fame where he belonged. I mean, these guys, Charles Haley on those dynastic Cowboy defenses, they, as Troy said a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Football, I wouldn't have 3 rings without Charles Haley because he was the tone setter, the cold-blooded killer. He wrecked the game when they went to the 49ers after he was a 49er, traded to Dallas in 92. That championship game at Candlestick, I was there. He wrecked it. He took it over in ways no other Cowboy could have taken that game over because he wanted to show the 49ers how wrong they were. Micah's not made of that stuff. Micah was under extraordinary pressure to live up and to teach Jerry a lesson for trading him, and the world wanted Jerry to be taught a lesson, and I did not because Jerry did the right thing. Jerry said after the game, very simply, he paid Dak because he's indisposable. Micah wasn't. Well, he wasn't because did he turn the Dallas defense into a Super Bowl winning type defense? Just a Super Bowl getting to type of defense? No. I mean, just last season, I've brought this up before. I'm going to say it again. Micah was the driving force of a Dallas Cowboy defense that gave up 35 points in the first half to the New Orleans Saints last year at Jerry World. That gave up 28, Cowboys down 28-6 to the Baltimore Ravens at Jerry World. Just last season, Micah played every snap on defense against the soon-to-be champion. These are the champions, Philadelphia Eagles. I give you that. It was 34-6 Philly and 41-7 Philly at Dallas, at Philadelphia. We didn't have any chance. We didn't have any hope. Micah, we had Micah, but we had no hope. He's not having great player, Hall of Fame player impact on defenses. So help me out here. What did you see on Sunday night? I know what I saw. I saw a Cowboy offense without CeeDee Lamb. No CeeDee Lamb. Didn't play a snap, as you well know. No CeeDee Lamb, no hope. I saw that Cowboy offense against Micah Parsons' Green Bay Packer defense score 37 points in regulation and 40 total points with the field goal in overtime. 40 points Dallas scored. The sorry-ass Dallas Cowboys scored 40 points on Micah Parsons' defense. The same Green Bay Packers who just 2 seasons ago, it's not even, it's just a season and a third ago, in a playoff game at Jerry World, as the 7 seed and a 7-point underdog to the Dallas Cowboys with a defense featuring Micah Parsons. These Green Bay Packers in that playoff game at Jerry World scored 27 points before halftime. It was 27-0. And for the game scored 48 points against a defense featuring Micah Parsons every single snap. Help me out. What's wrong with that picture? So the Green Bay Packers just paid Micah Parsons the most money any non-quarterback in the history of professional football has ever made. Ever made. And in the last 2 games that Green Bay has played at Jerry World, the last 2 games at Jerry World, Micah Parsons' defense, once for Dallas, gave up 48, and Micah Parsons' defense, the next time for Green Bay, gave up 40 in a game that Green Bay was supposed to win by 4 touchdowns And Micah was supposed to have 4 sacks in and got 1 cheap, fraudulent, bogus sack that shouldn't have counted. And then he was given credit for saving the game. And I give you the hustle play, but remember, Micah is under so much pressure. He's realizing, oh, wait a second. The only way I can get these sacks, my specialty is my speed. How many defensive linemen are capable of pulling off chase down sacks? Not that many. Where the quarterback has decided to go forward and run, and you chase him down. You know, we're in the age of the running quarterback. Dak can't really run. He used to be able to. He really could run at Mississippi State. But Micah has that one weird, rare specialty that doesn't really apply very often because you don't get those chances. So as fate and the football gods would have it, he got 1 shot in overtime, and we did have it 1st and goal at the 5. I give you that. And we sort of played conservative, gave it to Javonte for a yard. So now it's 2nd goal from the 4, and Dak takes 1 look and takes off to his left. And Micah single block by Jake Ferguson, loops all the way around and gets up to his 4.4 full speed. And yeah, he easily catches Dak from behind because it's Dak Prescott. I don't know what he weighs, 235. He's lost some weight, 230 maybe. And he dives and ankle tackles him to keep him from moving forward. Pretty easy tackle. I think he had 2 tackles for the whole night. I think they gave him 3 quarterback pressures. Okay. And 1 cheap, bogus, fraudulent sack. But save the game. Help me out here. Go look at it if you happen to have it still on tape. Go look at Edgerrin Cooper, who I still think is the best player on the Green Bay defense. At that moment, he has drawn a bead on Dak. He's unblocked. He's coming downhill a little sideways, but he can run too. I mean, he might be able to run with Micah. He just might. I just don't think Dak's going to overpower Edgerrin Cooper to the goal line. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to get there. I'm not going to give you game-saving tackle. I'm going to give you Dallas went up and down the field against Micah's defense to the point that after the game, he was forced to say that he was pissed off about the way they played on defense, that he was, quote unquote, very disappointed with the way they played on defense. I wasn't surprised. Silly me. I didn't think we could score 40. I thought we could score 28 in regulation. And by the way, by the end of the game, think about this. We started the game with 3 undrafted offensive linemen who were originally undrafted. The center, the right guard, and the right tackle, all to start the game were undrafted, and Micah and company, and that's a top 5 pass rush. Rashawn Gary was pretty quiet, very quiet. Van Ness was pretty quiet. Wyatt's pretty quiet. I don't know. I thought Micah was overall pretty quiet, except for that one quote-unquote splash play on the fraudulent sack and the quote-unquote game-saving tackle. I don't know. So by the end of the game, we actually, because Tyler Guyton, I don't know, I thought they yanked him and then they said he had a concussion issue. I don't know. But then we got a 7th round draft pick in for him. So for really the 4th quarter and the overtime, we're playing with the 7th rounder at left tackle and undrafted over here on the right side of the line, center guard tackle. Yeah, we got Tyler Smith, he just might be the best left guard in pro football, but that's all we had left was Tyler Smith. And they couldn't take advantage of that. Dak didn't get sacked except for that one fraudulent time. Really interesting. So what impact is Micah Parsons really having on the defense? I don't know. He had little to no impact on the Dallas defense because we were pathetic last year. And you can argue we're just as pathetic without him, but do we miss him? No, I don't miss him at all. We should have won the game. I take it as a win just because the world thought that we were going to get annihilated and humiliated and embarrassed, and that Micah was going to wreak revenge on Jerry the Fool Jones. And it didn't happen. It looked like it was going to happen for a quarter. And then, as I predicted, my team rose up and said, no, that's enough of this. Not in our house. Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level, as you well know. And he was spectacular in that game and slightly outplayed Jordan Love, who was also very spectacular. But we forced him into one mistake, just one, late in the first half. James Houston, who I have raved about since preseason, who burst into this league in Detroit with a flurry of sacks. Right now, he's my best pass rusher. He should be utilized, as Chris Collinsworth said on the telecast, more. Got to play him more, give him more shots. He stripped Jordan Love. So Jordan Love made one mistake that got us right back into the game and on top of the game. So we led that football game after a half. We led that football game after three quarters. We led that football game until 1 second remained in the fourth quarter, and we led that football game until 1 second was left in overtime. We outplayed the Green Bay Packers. We deserved to win the football game, but we did not. It ended in a tie. And for the record, I don't have any problem with the tie rules in the National Football League because clearly in the earlier windows, 1 o'clock Eastern window and the 4 o'clock Eastern window, you can't have games go on forever, and you can't risk injuries in games that go on forever. So you have to have some cutoff factor. And I can't think of a better way than to play one more full quarter if it comes to that. I love the idea of giving both teams a shot. You have to give both teams a shot. And both teams got a full shot in overtime, and it wound up 40-40. I don't hate that. I only hated that Dak Prescott said after the game he hates ties, can't live with the tie, he's never satisfied with the tie. Well, then what were we doing on the next play after the fraudulent, bogus, cheap sack? The next play, 3rd down and 3rd and goal from the 4. Dak takes the snap, takes one quick look, and throws the ball in the 20th row. Just threw it way, way, way out of the field of play. I give up. We'll take 3. No, Dak. Cannot. That was your chance to go for the throat. And it wasn't even a do or die go for the throat. In fact, I wouldn't have hated it if they'd gone for it on 4th down, gone for the touchdown, gone for the win. We couldn't stop them. Right now, we can't stop anybody. I'm about to address that. You have to put the ball in play on 3rd down in overtime, knowing full well that your defense is right now the worst defense in pro football. It just is. I don't understand it. I will address that in 1 second. But at that moment, you have to know where you are and what you're up against. You have no protection on defense. You have no bodyguards on defense. You have no wingmen on defense. You have no backup on defense. You have to throw the football where somebody in cowboy colors has a chance to catch it. I understand you got to be, you don't want to throw the game away. But again, the worst case scenario is you throw a pick 6. You throw something at the goal line, they tip up and grab and run 100 yards, 105 yards back. Okay, that's the worst case. The second worst case is you throw one up for grabs and they go up and grab it and come down in the end zone with it and they get the ball at the 20. Okay, I can't hate it because at least you've still got a chance. But you have to give one of your receivers a chance. Maybe it's Jake Ferguson at whatever he's 6'6"-ish, 6'5". Maybe it's jump baller George Pickens. He's the best aerial jump ball artist, deep threat in the league. It's what he does the best, and he pulled off one on Sunday night, as you well saw. Maybe I throw him a fade. They're probably going to double him. Maybe I give him a chance. Sometimes Turpin shocks me. He gets loose in the zones. I don't know. There's a way. Do something. Swing it to Javonte. I don't know. Run a quarterback draw if you want to. Do something. Just give yourself a chance to get to pay dirt. You need 7 if you want to win, not 3. That was extremely painfully predictable. And Dak threw it away and took 3, and I was out of my mind. Of course, I was out of my mind by the Leofow extracurricular hit. I don't know what's he think. He's a kamikaze. He's great on special teams. That was a terrible, terrible 15-yard penalty that cost us a chance to stop them. But were we going to? Probably not. We're the worst team in the league so far on third down. Worst in the league, and we've given up the most yards in the league. I got it. But I'll take the tie because finally I've been all over Trevon Diggs this year because he left his heart in Green Bay. You know, his heart's in Green. I said last week on this podcast, I just wish he'd wear a green jersey on Sunday night and just go stand on the Green Bay sidelines because he lost his best friend, his soulmate, Micah Parsons, and his heart's with Micah in Green Bay. It's like he gave up when Micah got traded, and it rubbed off on the defense. And now I'm hoping that we got the Micah game behind us, that we can shed all that and refocus and restart and jumpstart. Because the best thing I saw on Sunday night from the defense was as they drove, and they drove and drove and drove, just when I thought they were going to go in for a score, Trevon Diggs made one play. He made one play. He did make a tackle. It was pretty good. But he made one play on a screen pass to Golden. One play. He saw it, sniffed it, smelled it, jumped it. 3-yard loss. And that's when Matt LaFleur gave up and played for 3, as we played for 3. And I have to mention the last pass because Jack Sanford, I don't know. He's the classic Bill Parcells memorial. Bill used to call him Jags, just another guy. Jack Sanford, who came from Matt Eberflus from Chicago, came with Matt. Matt's Eberflub to me. They're not hearing him. They're not feeling him. They're not seeing him because this defense is way better than it has played under Matt Eberflub. It's just, and he brings his guy, Jack Sanborn, in. And Jack makes one play. I know he had a bunch of tackles because they're just running wild down the field. He tries hard. He's another one of those try-hard guys who just can't play. He's just another guy. He makes one play in the game because his back is turned and he doesn't ever see the football as he's guarding Matthew Golden along, to the end line, and they tried one last desperation throw from Jordan Love, and it hit Jack. I couldn't tell if it hit him in the back or the back of the helmet. They didn't replay it. It hit him somewhere because his back was completely to the ball. Obviously, if he gets his head around, the game's over. But he's not that guy. He's just another guy. J-A-G, Jag. So he makes one play because he never sees the football. And I thought the ball hit him and then the turf a split second later than the clock operator did, because the clock operator, who is hired by the league but lives in the vicinity of Jerry World, somewhere in North Texas, usually you get a little home cooking on that stop, and and it goes a split second longer and the clock goes to 0:00 and we have to do a review or whatever. But 1 second was left when the clock operator hit stop. I thought it was zeros. If it had been zeros, we'd be talking about a Cowboy victory right now. But I'll take it as it's not even a moral victory. It's just a win for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a season saver. 40-40. Who knew? Who saw that coming? Without CeeDee Lamb, my offense looked as explosive as any offense in the league, including Detroit's. It did.